But we're a state of roughly 6.5 million people. 2.2 million people were born in this state and are still alive today, no longer live in our state. That's a third of the population we have here. They have voted with their feet. I think to ask the question why is valid. We look at jobs in our state and in our district. Let's narrow it down to the district so we don't even have to go as broad as the state.
Sure.
Second Middlesex District, the three towns as you mentioned, Chelmsford, Littleton, and Westford. Wages over the last 3 years in Westford, flat. It gets a little bit worse when we look at Littleton. 2.5% decrease from 2001 until September of 2007. And I picked September 2007 because that's the latest figures available on mass.gov, Department of Labor. Chelmsford is in worse shape, 5.7% decrease. So I'm not just talking inflation has hurt us in this district. Real wage decreases have taken place in actual dollars. Now we factor in inflation over that time, and you can see it's a much bigger percentage of lost wages that don't exist. Let's talk about the jobs themselves. The astute person might say, well, you know, we have low unemployment in the state, so why would you be saying there's a job issue? 2.2 million people have left our state. As the jobs have left, the people have left.
Right.
If the people aren't here to ask for a job, you do not have an unemployment rate.
Right.
That's why, because the people have left along with the jobs.
Sure.
And what have we had since 2001? 1.5% loss of jobs in Massachusetts. Well, gee, that's not a big number, is it? Well, during the same period of time, the United States grew jobs at 7.2%. So let's look at 1.5% decrease versus 7.5% increase.
Something's wrong.
Yes. We're number 49 in job growth. We're on the negative side of it.
Right.
I'll say it this way, bested only by Michigan. So let's put it really the right way.
Right.
Only Michigan is worse than Massachusetts in job creation during that period of time. Our other New England states beat us out. It's not a regional issue. It's something about the state.
Right.
We look around here. I've already told you I love the state. I love New England. It's beautiful. The people are great. So it's certainly not the scenery.
Right.
Okay? And when people say, well, it's cold, I've been in a lot colder places on this planet.
Sure.
Minnesota's cold.
Yep.
Wisconsin's cold. Michigan's cold. Ohio gets pretty cold. We can go on with cold states. Connecticut gets cold. New York gets cold. So I don't think it's cold.
No.
Maybe it's that one of those straws on that proverbial camel, but it's not the straw.
Right.
I would say, let's look at our government. I think it's our government that drives businesses out, which is where the jobs go. It's not business friendly. It's not user friendly in our government. There's no coordinated strategy. And that's not just Paul Avella speaking to you.
Right.
We can go to Mass Inc., Massachusetts Institute for a New Commonwealth. You can read their reports. The same thing. You can go to Boston Chamber of Commerce. Read their reports. The same thing. There's no coordinated strategy between government, industry, and academia to grow jobs, retain jobs, bring jobs into the state. We do not have that. And when we look at our government right now, in our state, the Commonwealth's government is made up of a single-party system. It's a single party that has absolute majority and veto power over anything any governor does. And it's irrespective of whether it's a Republican governor or Democratic governor.
One party, that's a problem.
It is one party, and it is a problem. 88% of our House, Democrat. 87.5% of our Senate, Democrat. Every statewide office, Democrat. 10 U.S. representatives, Democrat. 2 U.S. senators, Democrat.
I see the trend.
There is a trend, isn't there?
Yes.
So, if one were to ask, what's the problem? Is there a problem? And if somebody says there is a problem and they identify a problem, I say, who's accountable? Who do you hold accountable if we have a government such as that? I know I've been told, well, you know, you did have a Republican governor for 16 years. Let's just go back a couple years and look at 2006. During fiscal year 2006, pardon me, 65 out of 65 gubernatorial budget vetoes were overridden. That's 100%.
Right.
In fiscal year 2007, 164 out of 165 gubernatorial budget vetoes were overridden. Now, 2007, if we think about it, the fiscal year, that spans a Republican governor and a Democratic governor.
Right.
We have an entrenched legislature. Well, by the way, those are our present governor's words. It's an entrenched legislature. It's a legislature that has no transparency, no openness. It's back rooms. There's no debates.
What's the solution?
The solution is we do have openness. We do have transparency. We have people that we put in government who are willing, and not only willing, but have the courage to stand up and say, no, sir, that's wrong, Mr. Speaker.
Right.
We have to have debate. We can't have a closeted society here. Okay? Cloistering is not for a government.
Right. And are you the person who's going to be able to do that?
I will be one of more than many, I believe. Am I one of the few right now? Perhaps. Excuse me. But we must begin the trend. And the trend is to elect people to public office who will stand up for the people and not have the people serve the government, but have our government serve the people.
Well, I think this has been a great introduction to Paul Avella, and we've learned a little bit about your background and some of your ideas of what's wrong with our present government and some of your ideas for how we could improve. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us, and I look forward to talking with you again about some of the other issues that are of such great concern to the citizens of Chelmsford, Westford, and Littleton.
Carolyn, thank you very much. And I'd just like to ask everybody out there watching this, come September 16th in the primary, I ask for you to vote for me. And then again, on November 4th, in the general election, please vote for Paul Avella. Thank you very much.